Another trait that adds to Ari's liberation, she doesn't care about being attractive to boys. She's not bothered about looking pretty or moving seductively for them. She only does that for her own pleasure. She doesn't see her body as a vehicle for attracting a mate, and she doesn't squash bits of her personality to avoid overshadowing boys. I love that. You know, that made me feel really, you know, that's, as a role model, that's the kind of, you know, and so you're in a band, you've got together, you're with these, you've met these amazing women. How did it then evolve? Because, you know, how did anyone take any paying attention to you? Or
we were the loudest people in the room. Ari, the loudest of all. I mean, Ari was unbearable, but put her on stage and she was utterly at home. She had this massive personality that couldn't be contained. She was only 14 and already she'd been chucked out of every school she'd been in. You know, she was running wild in the streets. Her mother couldn't control her. But on stage, and I look back at quite a few female front women and performers, and I think, you know, I wonder if all of us had a slight personality disorder that could only really be allowed in show business or theatre. I mean, you probably go all the way back to, you know, music hall or whatever. You know, there's probably the women that stood out were probably women with personality disorders, but somehow show business does manage to, you know, when you're dressing up and you're putting on a persona, establishment will accept a woman who's out of line, you know, and that's what Ari was, out of line, and we were all out of line, and we all had a slight personality disorder, I think, in different ways, and the only way we were acceptable was if we were performers. And I think it's probably still like that now. If you look at Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, you know, they're out of they are people who are too big for the women's roles they were, you know, born into, in one way or another. Just outsiders, I suppose. We were outsiders.
Yeah. I think even then, though, you were still, you know, the way that the public reacted quite angrily towards you. Certain, not all the public, but obviously certain elements of the public. It was almost like, how dare you? Because again, I was just reading that Ari was stabbed twice.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know, I couldn't understand that.
We took our lives in our hands literally every time we left the house, because we didn't say, oh, well, we take our punk clothes in a plastic bag and change in the loo when we get to the gig or when we get to someone's house. You know, the whole point of wearing punk clothes, and the girl Jordan who worked in Vivian's shop was the best example of this, was that you wore your politics on your body. You were like a walking sandwich board in a way, and you know, part of the fight was not to be scared to take on whatever comes at you for looking out of place. And so Ari was stabbed twice. I mean, she was 14, 15. They never broke her spirit, and honestly, everywhere she went, her spirit was tried. You know, they tried to break her spirit up until she died, actually, but they never did. But yeah, we were attacked. It was terrifying being on a train. So in the end, we went everywhere together as a foursome, and then a threesome, stayed on each other's floors at night, because you just simply couldn't get the night bus home dressed how we were dressed, because the attitude of the guys, and that's whether they were straight men in bowler hats and suits or skinheads or whatever, was, if you don't want to look like a woman and you don't want to play the role and play the game of being a girl and a woman and dress like one and act like one, then we're not going to fucking treat you like one. We're going to kick your head in. It was like this bubbling violence that was within them suddenly found a way. You know, it's like I always said, they didn't know whether they wanted to fuck us or kill us, or fuck us and then kill us. And they couldn't fuck us, more or less, because we were in safer situations, in crowded streets or whatever, so they tried to kill us. You know, and it really was like that. We so upset the status quo, or what was in their heads of what a girl should be, and they thought we'd given them permission to attack us because we didn't look like girls. So if you don't want to look like it, and you don't want to play the game, we won't play the game either. And one way or another, that was sort of through every strata of male society, you know, even the DJs and the A&R men, and there was only one little bunch of people who were okay about us, and that was the people who sort of hung around Vivian and Malcolm's shop. And then as we started to gig, you know, we'd meet other musicians who were a bit more open, but apart from them, every sound man, I mean everyone we came across, every male we came across, and we didn't come across many girls because they weren't in the industry. So
was that the other men in bands as well, like the